Stand by.
I see it.
Smile because it's actually showing us even though we don't think it is.
With the delay.
Not quite yet. Oh my gosh, there we are. Hi, everybody. It's 3 p.m. and it's time for dinner with Nanny Bubby. And I need to get this screen loaded down. Let me see here. Hold on. I've got technical issues. Let me just delete this 1 minute. Uh-oh. Am I on? But I can't find myself. Am I? Okay. I can't find it. How do I find it? I guess we're live, Lauren, but I cannot find the Zoom picture. It's gone.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I see you, and I see we're live on Facebook. So
I know. So Tom, can you help me find it? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. No. Okay, listen. There's no way I can find it, and Tom didn't come out to help me. There we go. Nope. So we're going to have to go off and come back, okay? Oh, there it is. Are you there?
Yes, here I am. I see you. I see Facebook.
Okay, Tom keeps telling I'm on. Okay. Hi, everybody.
Me too.
You know, Harmony once said to me, Mom, I think you need to give up you and digital social media. And I've done really, really good up until now. And probably she's watching. I got it. Thank you. So let me start over while we fumbled around. And let me introduce, please, Lauren Westerfield, who is the founder of the Noble Fempire, who is here to help us cook artichokes. So, hey, Lauren, how are you?
Hey, Marla, or Nanny Bubby.
Yeah, I'm trying to find where we are live so that I can follow along because so many people, there you go. Deborah Howell is watching and Laura McNeese is watching, and it is Laura. Okay, hold on. Now my audio is feeding back. So let me do that.
So Laura is the one who actually had the question on how to make artichokes, right?
Yes, she was the one that put it in. So yes, Laura, just I'm sorry that it took us a minute to get ourselves together here. But we're here and we're going to be talking artichokes, and we're going to be doing steamed artichokes with me, and Lauren is going to do a braised artichoke. But before we do that, let's talk about the Noble Fempire. Tell me about the founding of that and what that brand is.
So the Noble Fempire is my creative genius, my creative birth, an outlet where I talk about all things being a female in the workplace, being a lady boss, tips on leadership, on vulnerability, on openness. But I also explore a little bit more of my spiritual side, which I teased about this before, but Marla and I really have that kind of spiritual connection that is just there. So a lot of this was inspired by some of our talks. I don't know if you know that, Marla.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we actually have things that are called our Fempire favorites, which are lists, our playlists, favorite books, favorite gifts, and a little section called Food for Your Mood.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so this artichoke recipe in our chat is going to go on that blog. You can take a look. It's Noble, N-O-B-L-E, Fempire, F-E-M-P-I-R-E, .com.
Okay. Check it out. That is awesome. Thanks, Lauren. And this is what Laura says. So she challenged me to cook artichokes and to show her, you know, like how to do them because she loves them. She doesn't know how to cook them. And right now she says, I know nothing about artichokes except I love to eat them. Yum. So
perfect. You're in the right place.
Yeah. So Laura, to you, you are in the right place. And this place is here now because of you, Laura. So let's take it away. What do I do first?
Okay, so the first thing, and artichokes can be super intimidating. I understand that. So the first thing we're going to do is when you're picking out an artichoke, make sure that it's firm. So you kind of grasp it up here and you squeeze it a little bit. You make sure it's firm. You make sure that the leaves are still folded in and it's not purple, it's green and it looks nice. The bigger the stalk too, sometimes the meatier the actual leaves and the part will be. Yes. Okay. So these are beautiful. I know they're from Melissa's, right? Melissa's Produce sent them to you.
Yes, Melissa's Produce. So I went looking for, there we go, Melissa's Produce. Boop, boop, boop. I went looking for artichokes and they're just not out in the grocery stores, even though apparently it is a year-round vegetable, but they're just not carrying them this time of year. Also want to say hello to Greg Solomon. Wow, Greg Solomon. Wow, hello. My sister Heather is watching and Harmony is watching, who said that we are her two faves.
Oh.
So, thanks, Harm. Okay, so let me just ask you about this, about washing them. So before you actually address washing them, I just want to tell you that I use food grade hydrogen peroxide. You can find it on nannybubby.com in the Game Changer page. It is my go-to item. Whenever I find something like this where it's got a rough outside, I mean, I even spray it on my lemons. I spray it on my asparagus because who knows how many hands this has passed through to get to you. And so, especially in the middle of a pandemic where we were all, you know, whatever, but this was a habit of mine long before the pandemic. And so I did spray these with that. And now I'm just going to rinse them off and you can all watch, but excuse me while I be my own cameraman here. Okay, over to the sink. But how do you wash them, Lauren?
So I wash all of my produce in a warm, soapy bath. So I put it in a deep sink and I soak them for a little bit. With artichokes, it's tough because you need to make sure that you get inside the leaves, kind of expand them a little bit to get all the soap out and then just let them air dry. But if I had that Game Changer, which I didn't know about, I'm going to have to try that because it seems a lot easier than the whole hullabaloo of having a soapy water. Right,
and you've got to make sure your sink is really, really clean. So then you clean it with Clorox, then you're putting it into Clorox and that's not good either. So, and I do have a stainless steel, really big bowl. And like when I get carrots from Desert Bloom Farms or radishes, I will take it all, dump it in that big bowl. I spray them with the hydrogen peroxide, food grade hydrogen peroxide, and there is such a thing. And then I let it sit for about 3 minutes and I fill it up with water and let them soak in that. Then I rinse them all off and ready to roll. So, okay. Now,
so now that we've thoroughly felt up our artichoke and understand that it is good, we've gone a second place.
We have thoroughly felt it. Let me tell you. Okay, go ahead.
So now comes the trimming part. So you're going to need kitchen scissors.
Okay, over here, which I also sprayed with food grade hydrogen peroxide to make sure they were good.
That's smart, yes. And then you need a serrated knife. Serrated, for those of you who may not know what that is, are the kind of crocodile teeth edge, so you're able to cut.
I'm moving across to get it.
Okay.
Serrated edge knife.
I'm going to adjust my screen so you can actually see me cutting too.
And I'm going to follow you as you go.
Okay. So we're first going to hold it by the base, and you're actually going to take your serrated knife at the top, you know, probably upper 1/8 inch, and you're just going to saw off the top.
Okay, there you go.
Then you're going to take your hand around the stem, and you are going to cut each individual leaf. And all you have to do is just turn it around and cut off the top where this thorny thing is. Artichokes are a thistle, so that means that they will have thorny little areas, which are these tops, and you need to get rid of that or else they'll pinch your skin, and no one wants to do that while they eat. No one wants to be in pain while they eat.
What do you mean by thistle?
So a thistle, it grows on, it's a stocky, almost kind of flowery thing, but this is an edible thistle.
So like roses are a thistle.
Correct.
Well, look at all the things we actually love that are thistles. There's roses, there's artichokes, right?
Right, that you can eat this one. So now after you've cut around all those little thorny ends, you're going to take the top.
You're going to
You're going to hold it from the top
Okay.
And then you're going to cut off the base.
Okay. And how close to the artichoke itself do you cut the base?
As close as you can get. I mean, I have about half an inch sticking out here. So
Okay.
where the natural end leaves are, that's where you can actually do that. So that's how you trim an artichoke. It's really, really, really that simple and not that intimidating.
Hey, Debbie. Debbie's here, Debbie Pereiras. Thank you so much for joining us. So if you love artichokes, those of you that are watching, type a heart into the chat right now so we know who it is. Okay, so we know who it is that loves artichokes. So let me ask you a question. I cut mine really close. What do
That's
you
okay.
think? That's okay? All right. My
That's
nose is
totally
okay.
So
There
that, my friends, is how to clean an artichoke. Now you are ready to be able to steam the full artichoke.
Okay.
So if you want a steamed artichoke, which Marla is going to do for us today, you will leave it whole. If you want to do the braised artichoke recipe that I will show you later, there's an extra step which we'll go through at that time.
Okay. Just so everybody knows, we're going to do 2 recipes of artichokes. We're going to do steamed, which I'm going to do, and then Lauren is going to do the braised, which is a very interesting recipe. I read through it today a little bit earlier. So, okay, should I just go with the one, or should I go ahead and do the second one?
You go ahead and do the second one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
You want to talk about right now how you're cutting, or at least cut your braised one while I finish up this second one?
Sure. So for your braised one, it's the end product will end up looking like this. So it's cut in half with all of this thorny stuff, the inside tender thistle, and then the fuzz will be cut out. So this is what it looks like before. So when you have your full artichoke, you're going to take that serrated knife once again. Hold on. We're going to go down. Okay, we're going to take that serrated knife once again, and then you're just going to cut it from the top and saw. Okay, and then you'll have 2 halves. This is what it will look like before you go into surgery with your half an artichoke. For this, spilling oil, you'll need a paring knife. So one of your small knives, right?
Yeah, and I just want to say that Harmony just wrote that your braised is beyond.
Thank you. Yes. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take this paring knife and you're going to loosen up right underneath this kind of hairy part to right under here where it starts to lift.
And Lauren, what kind of paring knife did you actually use? Like a small one, or?
I'm using my smallest one that I have, and I love Wusthof is my butcher block and kind of my go-to, but there are lots of different brands that you can utilize. I just like these because they're more professional grade and a lot sharper and a lot more efficient. So once you get
on the raw, I just want to say that on the raw artichokes, getting off that hairy part, and I wonder if Laura McNeese has ever had this problem. I don't know if she's actually ever cooked them. She loves them, I just don't. But getting out that hairy part is always difficult, even after you've cooked them. So nobody sent hearts. How come y'all didn't send hearts? Do you like it? Do you like artichokes? Send some hearts, you guys. We're all watching here. Send some hearts. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, so finally you get as much as you can out. Some artichokes will be a lot easier than others. This little guy was a little stubborn, but that's okay. So then you have it pretty much hollowed out and clean. So that is how you're going to do this if you are going to make the braised version that I will take you through. So that is cleaning it. I would, on this version, also rinse it so you get any of the little straggler hanger-ons out of there. Perfect.
Okay. So I'm now done. Let's get back to steaming them. What do you think?
Okay. You can use any pan or any, more of a, what do you call them? Why can't I think of the word? Not a pan.
Dutch oven.
So a Dutch oven is definitely, it just allows for more caramelization on the bottom, and it allows for a little bit more of that flavor. So
La Creuset oven, yeah, there you go.
Is that a Le Creuset?
Yeah, La Creuset, yeah.
Love it. So All you're going to do is you're going to put about 3 tablespoons per artichoke. Marla, it looks like you could potentially fit what, 4 in that Dutch oven?
I would say comfortably 3. This size would be 3. And this is, just so you know, let me just tell you, it's a 20, it's a number 26. I think that's 26 liters, maybe. I don't know what that is because it's French measurement, it's European measurements. But anyway,
Okay.
3 tablespoons per artichoke of olive oil.
Correct.
Okay.
So go ahead and eyeball that, get it nice and hot. And in the meantime, I really like garlic, especially in artichokes. You can opt to not use the garlic if you don't like it. I would highly suggest doing so just because it adds a little bit more flavor. So the easiest way to do this, and it will be the same in the braised artichoke recipe, you are going to peel your garlic, which I've already peeled, I have it prepped, and then you're just going to smash it. So it looks like this. I do about 3 cloves per artichoke. If you don't like garlic that much, you can do 1 per artichoke, whatever. I like to do 3 because I like it very, very tasty, and I like for those stalks to really absorb that flavor.
So here's Nanny Bubby's tip. One of the tips that I have is, if you can see, I've got a small cutting board right on top of my big major cutting board. I don't know if you can see that. And the reason that I do that is that one time I had garlic the night before and I came and cut an apple on my cutting board and it tasted like garlic. And I was like, what? Wow, that's weird that this apple tastes like garlic, but it was just left over. Once that garlic juice gets into wood, it doesn't come out. So I put this very small cutting board right on top of the cutting board that I use every day for everything else. And then and Tom hates when I do this, but so I smash like that. Is that how you did it?
That's 100% how I did it.
And are we just throwing it in as we smash it?
Throwing it in the nice heated pan.
Uh-huh.
And it should sizzle a little. Now, here is the optional exercise. If you want to add any other seasoning, I had a friend from New Orleans who she loves to use, she was telling me yesterday, she loves to use Zatarain's as kind of a seasoning too. So if you want to add red chili flakes, anything, plop them in the oil right now. So let that oil kind of absorb the flavors of whatever you're adding. And then you're going to take your first artichoke and you are going to take it the stem side down, and you're actually going to put it inside the Dutch oven and you're going to circle it around with the base. I like to personally put it on top of a garlic clove and really kind of it's supposed to soften it up a little bit. So maybe give it a few twirls.
Now, what are we softening? Are we softening the artichoke or the garlic?
We're softening both, actually. We're softening the base and allowing for it to open up a little bit for the aromas and the flavors that are coming through the garlic oil. And then you're actually smushing it more in as well, which is a very efficient.
Am I doing this right? Can you see that?
That you're doing it absolutely right.
Okay. So I put so much pepper flakes in this that it's like inhaling pepper right now. I feel like, oh my gosh, am I going to start sneezing through the rest of the episode here?
Oh no.
But it smells heavenly. The garlic and the red pepper flakes, it smells amazing.
So I think
what do you like to serve with your artichokes, Lauren?
Excuse me? Sorry, I didn't hear.
What do you like to serve with your artichokes?
As a dipping sauce or just as a meal?
No, like what do you usually eat with it?
Sometimes I'll just eat artichokes alone for dinner. I love it. That and like a really crusty loaf of bread, not a full loaf, but it's perfect. And if I'm doing a larger meal, I love artichokes and pizza. It's just anything Italian with artichokes, it just seems perfect.
Anything Italian, right?
Anything, yes. And
I know that the French are known for their food and what they do, and we all love the French, but there's something about Italian, right?
Yes.
There's just something, maybe because French food feels so much more complicated, and Italian food it's just so earthy. Right. I think that's the difference. Italian food is just so earthy. and there's just a home feeling about it. Okay.
And the good thing with artichokes too is that when you're cooking everything else, you start your artichokes first because you're going to want them to simmer once you put the water in for about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the size and how unctuous you want them to be. So now that your artichokes are softened and kind of caramelized on the bottom, you are, if you want,
you have this on a high heat. Is it supposed to be on
right
a high
now
heat?
on the high heat is perfect. So now you're going to lower it down to about a mid-low heat, and you're actually going to take, if you want to just take your pot and put it, I have a RO unit, so it's easy for me to just put it in my sink and fill it up. Or if you,
nope, going right here to the side. Here we go.
Perfect. Now you're going to fill up that pot, and you are going to cover at least pretty much up to 75% of the artichoke. So let it kind of cover up to here. So you have, up to here. So you have about this much left out of the water. So
about midway up, halfway, or a third of the way?
I would say about 2/3 of the way.
Okay. So although one's taller than the other, so the other one will just have to.
That's okay.
All right, here we go.
So then you put it back on the low heat, and you are going to put the top on, because this is where that low and slow kind of heat will start to really steam that artichoke. All
right, so let me ask you a question. What about the lemon? You put that now?
Good point. So you can do lemon one of two ways. I love the taste of acid in my foods. Not too much, but I like it to cut. So I'll squeeze half a lemon, and then I will actually drop the lemon in the water while it simmers, just to kind of make it that lemony water. If you want to wait till after, you can do all of this and then just squeeze the lemon or even lemon zest on the top when you're done.
So let's say hi to Brenda Mills. She tunes in almost every day. Robin Dickinson is here. Bernice Thais is here. Thais is here, and Lindsay Nonig is tuning in. So hey, Lindsay, this is the first time Lindsay's been here. So she probably saw you and she decided to stop on by. And let's see, and Saeed is here. So hello to everybody. Send me some hearts. Oh, there you go. Lindsay just sent a heart, I think. So thank you for that. And we are making artichokes because I was challenged to make artichokes. And I thought, you know, who I always get my artichoke recipe from is Lauren. So I use this handy dandy little lemon squeezer, I guess, or juicer.
Do you remember you bought me one of those you bought me that and a really cute little lemon squeeze. As just a random, I thought that you would be the only person who would like this, and you got it, and I still use it to this day.
Oh my God, don't you love this? I don't know what I would do without it.
It's amazing. But
oh my God.
The little handy dandy lemon squeezer that you got me.
Yes. I mean, how can you do without that, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So how many lemons do you think I should put in this? These are Meyer lemons that came right off my mother's tree.
Ooh, yum. I think one should be fine for now.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you can adjust when they are done. You can actually taste a leaf. And if you want to put more on, and then fresh herbs, like the herbs that you have from your garden, would be perfect at the end, and a little bit of sea salt.
Okay. Okay. So any salt and pepper go in this now?
No, you don't need to.
Okay. Recipe did call for salt and pepper.
Oh. I don't usually do it, but.
Okay. All right. Find the top right behind me.
Okay.
So Lauren, I was so impressed with the blog that you wrote this morning, and I loved it. And, you know, talking about the spiritual discussions that you and I have had, I think that the way that you streamline food down to the spiritual side, and you made an analogy between cooking and a food item and actual life itself, was so poetic. And I don't know if you have that near you. I can get it really quick as you go, but I wanted to read a little bit of it to our audience because I just thought it was so profound and so beautiful and so poetic. It just really brought tears to my eyes, because when I think of food, then I think of nourishing our families, not just feeding them, not just getting in the drive-through and grabbing a box and just, making what's in the box for your family, but truly taking the time and pouring your love into what you're making. I mean, the way that you wrestle with an artichoke is so analogous. So I don't know if you have it there and you'd like to read it, or do you want me to pull it up and read it?
I will have you read it. I don't have it near me, and you did such a great job earlier this morning that I would like to hear it.
Let me do that.
But just to set the record straight, and I talk about this in my blog, my mom, this is actually her recipe, because growing up, we would always have family dinners. Well, we still do have family dinners, a little bit less so because of COVID, but and we would always have artichokes at least once a week. So I grew up with them and I didn't think anything of it. But when the neighbor friends would come over, or when Harmony would come over and we would have dinner and we would have artichokes, it was such a treat. And it was so fun to watch people try to figure out and navigate and think of, what is this thing I'm putting in my mouth? And then it became almost this like little phenomenon within our family with all the
family heirlooms, right?
Yes.
I mean, the recipe's like a family heirloom. And funny enough, it was something that I never thought to make for my family, because Harmony and Devin and Russell made such fun of my cooking all the time, that actually introducing an artichoke, I thought I'd get really criticized for. So I never did. Shall I read? It
yes,
says,
go ahead.
The thing with artichokes is that you have to put in the work to get the reward. Where else does that come up in life? Whilst prepping them and whilst eating them. Thorny and obstinate, these beastly thistles may seem intimidating, but when prepped and cooked correctly, just like in life, they will become worth the work. So how many thistle type people do you come up against in the workplace? You just got to put in the work, right?
Absolutely.
And once they're tenderly braised or steamed, leaves your bask in buttery glory and rake through your 4 front teeth, which I thought that was really funny. You may find yourself in holy heaven. And once you nibble through the outer, then tender layer of leaves, well, eat your heart out. For the best part of foraging is reaping the reward. Eat your artichoke heart out. For the dippers, the slathers, the savers, this is your moment. Accompany a steamed or braised or baked or stuffed artichoke with a savory side of dipping sauce, and find yourself a meal or a side that will have you salivating and your dinner guests talking.
Sorry.
Once you get past all the thorny stuff, I promise you it's worth it all. Eat your heart out. 2 ways. Love that, Lauren. Beautiful.
Thank you.
You're
Yep,
welcome.
and if you guys want these recipes too, I know that it will be on nannybubby.com, as well as the episode. We also have it
Well, it will not be on nannybubby.com, but it'll go immediately on the Nanny Bubby page, which they're watching us on. And also, I want you to have you join Gather with, well, you're not on Facebook, but you need to send them to me and I will post them in the Gather with Nanny Bubby Facebook page.
Okay, perfect. Got it.
Okay, you're on for braising.
So now, once your steamed artichokes are done, which I said 45 minutes to 55 minutes, the way to really tell is to take a pair of tongs and actually try to easily lift out one of the leaves. And if it comes out rather easily, and then you can rake your mouth across the leaf and get your 4 front teeth and get that meat, you know it's done. So take it out of the steamy water and let them sit for about 10 to 15 minutes to further cook and kind of get those juices. And you can squeeze your lemon and top it with herbs and sea salt. So the best part is dipping. And I would like to know, I want to pose a question to your audience right now. What is your favorite dip to dip artichokes in? Because you know you can't just eat them alone. I mean, you could, but I mean, we're not savages here. So I personally like, and because I grew up on this, there were 2 things. My mom would make just a perfectly melted butter with garlic salt. Or I love to dip it in Miracle Whip if I'm just lazy, and Miracle Whip, not mayonnaise. But you can make an accompanying aioli, like a Dijon aioli, a lemon aioli, whatever you want. So just make sure you have enough, and just make sure that you dip it a little bit to kind of get that flavor. And then the best part is the heart, like I talked about. The heart is this piece right here, and that is the fillet of the artichoke.
Right.
And so you're going to take the little
get down to the heart, right?
Yes. So you take the little leaves and that fuzzy stuff, and you kind of cut circularly around with your paring knife and get rid of that. And then you cut it into sections. I sprinkle it with a little salt. And then that is my favorite part, my utter favorite part.
It's worth the scraping through the 4 front teeth. So let me tell you my favorite dipping sauce.
Yes.
It is mayo, a red wine vinegar of some kind, or balsamic vinegar of some kind, and a squeeze of stevia or honey or maple syrup.
Ooh.
And what happens is the mayonnaise starts to curdle a little bit from the vinegar, but then it starts smoothing itself out. And it is just, like you said, the acid with the cream and a little bit of that sweetness, it's just miraculous. And it's the easiest dipping sauce ever. So that's what I do.
I'm going to have to try that. That sounds delicious.
And just plain old butter.
Yeah.
So show us how to braise.
Okay. So this is the braised artichoke. It is not my recipe.
I just want to say this one thing before you start.
Yes.
Carolyn Valadares is watching. Lucy and Sulaco, who used to be my cameraman when I used to have a talk show back in the day. And Roseanne is watching. And so Roseanne, we've got to catch you up, because here's the deal. When Laura challenged me to make artichokes, Roseanne challenged me to make eggplant parmesan, which you know is like my all-time first recipe I ever created on my own. And so when Melissa Foods sent the artichokes, they also sent beautiful eggplants. And so in the next couple of days, Roseanne, I'm going to be making eggplant parmesan just for you, answering the second challenge. So if any of you have another challenge, write it in. Teresa Anderson is watching. Hey, Teresa. And that's it. Everybody's caught up. Okay, go ahead, braise.
Perfect. Okay, so this is not my proprietary recipe. This is actually from a really cool cookbook from a New York Times writer, Allison Roman. It's called Nothing Fancy. It is kind of a hipster approach to cooking. She's a food writer for the New York Times. She's really quirky, pretty infamous for getting in a Twitter war with Chrissy Teigen. Yeah, but we like her, and she had this recipe for wine roasted artichokes, braised artichokes. And when Chase, my husband, was sick of me making steamed artichokes about 2 or 3 times a week in deep quarantine, he requested that I experiment. Hence the braised artichokes. It will make your house smell so damn good for the whole entire night, maybe 24 hours. So that's worth it as a price of admission. So you're going to take a baking pan.
Your mom, by the way, how come your mom's not watching?
I don't know. I think she might be getting her nails done or something.
Okay.
But she's going to tune in later.
Okay. All right. And I also want to say to Brenda Mills, she said stuffed eggplant is amazing too. And I would say to you, Brenda, if you've got a great recipe on stuffed eggplant, go ahead over to the Gather with Nanny Bubby Facebook group and post that recipe in there. We'd love to see it. And maybe I'll make it too. Okay.
I'd love to see it. I'd make it. So you're going to get a baking dish. It doesn't matter. It depends. I'm making 2 artichokes, which makes 4 halves. So this is the perfect size. You're going to take them. Whoop, here we go. And you are going to lay them down, face down.
Face down, heart down.
Yep. Just like so.
Oop, down lower to the camera. There you go. Okay, good. There you go. There's Judy Westerfield. She said she's watching. Okay, Judy, just checking on you. Go ahead.
So then
hello, so we know you're there. Go ahead.
Hi, Mama. This one's for you. So then you're going to smush your garlics again, and you're just going to place them in the bottom of the pan. It calls for 4 cloves. You know how I like garlic, so I doubled that up with 8.
Okay.
Based on preference, you can do whatever you want to do. So you're going to put them in the bottom. Then you are going to take 4 tablespoons of butter all cubed up. So I like to place some in the bottom. Okay, just sprinkle here.
I love that.
I just said, make sure.
Judy. She's so talented. And what a beautiful writer. But you are too, Judy, so I know where she gets it. Okay, go ahead.
She's way funnier than I am.
Well, she's hilarious. Yes, I would agree with that. There's nobody funnier.
I'm way more serious.
You are, but beautiful nonetheless. Okay, go ahead.
So I forgot to tell you, please preheat your oven to 425 degrees.
You got it.
Okay. So we have the butter, and then you are going to take half of the lemon, and you're just going to squeeze. There you go. And you are going to take a couple of shakes of red pepper flakes.
Okay.
Be careful because they're potent if you don't like heat. Then you are going to take a 1/4 cup of olive oil. You're going to drizzle it over these chokes and let some get in the bottom. You are going to take 1 cup of water.
Oh, there's a secret ingredient right there.
Oh, there's one more. And I love these cups, by the way. They are exactly 1 cup. They're juice cups, and they're so cute. This one says, "Oh, happy day." What a happy day.
Happy day.
Anthropology. And then the secret ingredient is wine, cooking wine. So you're going to take 1 cup of wine, and you're going to pour it over here. Now,
so, let me give you a Nanny Bubby tip, okay?
Yes.
Those that are watching, what did you put? How much wine did you put in?
1 cup.
Okay. So 1 cup, if you're not drinking wine that night, what will happen is you kind of wasted a bottle of wine because you put it in the refrigerator. It's not going to last until probably the next time you decide to either cook with wine or drink wine. And so I do this in my home. If I'm having a dinner party and people are coming, I will certainly open up a bottle of white wine or red wine that it calls for, use it, because I know within 24 hours, I am going to drink that wine. But if I'm not, and I'm just like on a normal night like tonight, we're not opening up a bottle of wine because we don't drink every night. And so a good replacement for that is a cup of dry vermouth, because you can open up a bottle of vermouth and it'll last 20 years, right? And so that's what you can replace white wine with in any recipe if you choose to.
That's a perfect tip. I was going to say, and if people do not want the wine, you don't have to add it, but that acid, again, just really gives it that flavor. You could opt for chicken broth. I think it may be a little salty, but so I don't use your good wine, like use table wine, use whatever cooking wine, a cheap bottle, because this will cook off. And then I added a little bit of salt and pepper, and the recipe doesn't call for this, but I find it to just add a little element of flavor. It's lemon olive oil. So at the very end, this is Meyer lemon olive oil, actually.
There you go. Where'd you get that? Where'd you get it?
I got this one at Williams-Sonoma, but you can order online anywhere. So then I just drizzle the top, and this is what, doesn't it just look pretty?
Looks beautiful. Say hello to Chad Rutherford. He's here. Hey, Chad, thanks for joining us. We're having a great time cooking artichokes. We're spreading love like butter here on the Nanny Bubby Facebook page, and so happy that you're here. And Lauren is teaching all of us how to make artichokes, because I was challenged to do artichokes for Lauren McNeese Art. Look her up. She's got a beautiful Facebook and Instagram page, who loves to eat artichokes, but she doesn't know how to cook them. So Laura, I hope you're still there, and I hope you're loving watching all of this. Go ahead.
So then you're going to take enough foil to tightly cover your baking dish. And you are going to put it in the oven for 45 to 55 minutes.
At 400 degrees, right?
At 425.
At 425, okay.
And you're going to let that go for 45 to 55 minutes. Okay. You're going to lift up, after that time, lift up the foil. It should have a little bit of brown, and the liquid should be kind of evaporated, almost evaporated. And then you're going to cook it uncovered, still at 425 for 15 more minutes. And then you take it out.
Do you turn it upside down to get it a little bit brown? No, okay.
Nope, if you want to, you can, but the point of it being face down is to actually absorb those juices and those flavors in that kind of meatier part. So that's it.
That's it. So let me ask you a question, because you're of a generation that I'm hoping to help. Because I know so many young women that are your age, Harmony's age, and even younger, who have young families, and they're professional women, and they feel that they've spent all this time going to school and going, learning their craft and working all day long, that they don't want to come home and be in the kitchen. In fact, the old idea that keep her barefoot and pregnant and in the kitchen is so demeaning that so many women never got over the idea. They still feel that being in the kitchen is a demeaning thing to do, and they don't want to come home and do it. But you love and embrace and appreciate cooking. And so tell me how someone of your generation has moved from the stigma of that cooking idea to really embracing and loving and cooking, because there are so many. Oh my gosh, Devin is here. Hey, Devin, thanks for joining us. Okay, so how do you feel about that? What's your own personal spiritual philosophy about being in the kitchen?
I feel cooking is so therapeutic. It's just even just the rote mechanic of chopping and kind of putting it all out on your dish and being able to craft something from beautiful, earthly, divine stuff that's been given to us. I feel like it's therapy for me. I was raised by this kind of family where food and where mealtime was, it was our everything. So to be able to gather a kitchen full of people, or even your husband or your mom and dad, and be able to talk and laugh and have some wine and cook and serve a meal that's beautiful, like for me, that's bonding. It's incredible.
And make dinner family time. Make dinner the time where you gather, the time. And we did it every night, as Harmony and Devin will tell you. But my cooking was so awful that it was not enjoyable for everybody. But that's our memory. Like even the worst cook in the world, which I was apparently, even though I worked at it every day, and I never owned a cookbook, so how could it have been better? Harmony says I cook the same thing every day. But and I probably did. And then I tried to do lemon chicken, and they still haven't quit teasing me about my lemon chicken. But
oh my gosh,
I do remember. That's our memory. Marla was terrible, but now we have this new memory. Is that somewhere along the line, I made a transition. I admitted that I was terrible, and I opened up my heart to it. And all of a sudden, I just found a whole new world. And I have a garden where I plant and grow my own food. And in fact, these peppers, look at this. I picked these peppers. I was outside getting you your herbs. I saw these little suckers who were buried down at the bottom. I went, where did you come from? These are gorgeous. But, I have a 5-day cooking challenge that's starting on January 4th. And that's what I want to invite so many of you who are watching to consider joining this 5-day challenge. And the challenge to you is this: no matter how bad it feels, or no matter how stressful it is when you come home and you need to cook, spend that time with me for the 5 days. And I promise you, when you are done, you are going to feel better about it, and you are going to love your kitchen, and you're going to love cooking for your family. So it starts on January 4th. It's a 5-day challenge, and I really hope that you all join me. So,
do you know my memory of you and your cooking when I was young? And for everybody who doesn't know, Harmony and I have been friends since we were 5 years old.
Earlier, because did you start crying when you said that?
No.
Yes.
But I mean, it is.
You were like 4 years old, right?
Yeah, 5, and we met on a teeter-totter, and I liked your shoes. So anyway, but I would come over and spend the night, and in the mornings you would make one-eyed pirates.
Yeah, there you go.
You remember that? That was the best.
Well, apparently the only thing I could make that everybody liked. But
that's my memory.
Yes, but if I can transition from this terrible memory that my whole family has. In fact, they made fun of me one night so badly and hurt my feelings so badly that I actually ran away from home for 3 days. I did. I refused to come home. I did. But don't feel too bad for me because I was on my way to the Santa Fe. And then I realized the Bellagio rates were the same as the Santa Fe. So I turned around and went there instead and had great 3 days. But that's the truth. They were so mean to me. And they were teenagers. You know how terrible teenagers are.
I'm going to put my braised artichokes.
Last call that said, I'm not coming back. Oop, there you go.
I'm putting my braised artichokes in the oven.
Oh, your mom says she wants to see the garden feature. So into the oven it goes. So any last questions that anybody has? Roseanne, if you're there and you heard that I'm answering your challenge about the eggplant parmesan, give me a heart right now. And if there's anything right now that you want to challenge me to do, let me know. And then I would ask all of you this before I'm going to let any of you go. I'm going to ask this question. What are your top 5 spices that you cannot live without in your spice cabinet? Lauren, what are yours?
Salt, pepper, red pepper flakes, dried oregano, and cumin.
That's 4.
Huh.
Unless I counted wrong. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Hit me with some 5 top spices that you can't live without.
What are yours? Or that's an episode to come, right?
Well, no. I mean, truly, salt, pepper, cayenne, red pepper flakes. But my most favorite spice of all, actually, is smoked paprika. I put smoked paprika in so many things, including, the rice cauliflower, a little bit of salt and pepper, and the smoked paprika. It just gives it a rich redness. It feels like, in some cases, if you put some diced bell peppers in it, like Spanish rice.
Yeah.
And if you take it and use jicama and make jicama fries with the smoked paprika with salt and pepper, which I made just the other day. And when you put them in the oven to roast the jicama, the smoked paprika causes them to look the color of Yukon Gold potatoes. And then you bite into them, they've got that crunch. They're just absolutely delicious. So Lucy says pepper, Italian seasoning, and cinnamon. Roseanne said smoked paprika is her all-time favorite too. So I would say to everybody, if you don't have smoked paprika, you can find it at Williams-Sonoma. You've got it. What brand do you have? Go get it because it's just amazing. And so yes, Roseanne, Melissa's Produce. Oh, where'd you get that? That's huge.
Hungarian hot paprika that I love.
Oh, well, this is not hot. It's smoked, which is in all different flavors.
Oh, that's right. This is hot. It is really.
So when Melissa's Produce sent the artichokes, they also sent eggplant because I asked them for them because my eggplant around here was not so good. So lemon pepper. Roseanne, what do you put lemon pepper on? Tell me that really quick. And then we're going to all say goodbye. We've been on for quite some time here. Tell us really quick, Roseanne, what do you put the lemon pepper on? Got it. She's getting there. There's a delay there. Okay. Well, Lauren, I cannot thank you enough. For those of you who want to find these recipes, you can go to noblefempire.com. Also, Lauren's going to email them to me. I will post them in the Gather with Annie Bubby Facebook group page. That's always a big mouthful. Say hello to our New Yorkers. I had 26 New Yorkers who signed on and are part of the Gather with Annie Bubby Facebook group now. And it was great having you here. Let's see. Oh, Judy says thyme, pepper, basil, oregano, flavored salts, and Penzance spices. So what are Penzance spices, Lauren?
Oh, I think I have one right here. No, I forget where she gets them, but they are just the most perfectly dried spices. Mom, you'll have to.
Where does she get them? Where do you get them? Where do you get them, Judy? Can't go till you tell us where you got them, and then we're going to go.
I think she orders them online. I don't know.
Brenda Mills says parsley, dill, lemon, pepper, fresh rosemary, and cinnamon. And cinnamon was one of those things that I also love. And everybody's saying thanks. Everybody's saying thank you so much for sharing the recipes. Thank you so much. There's so many thank you ladies on here, which is so sweet, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us. And I would say this, if you know someone who is a young mother or even a medium mother who is a working mother and really finds that walking in the kitchen is stressful for her or for him, perhaps dad is the cook in the family, then encourage them to sign on to the Facebook group encourage them to keep an eye out for our 5-day challenge. And when we're done, you are going to love your kitchen, and you're going to love nourishing your family, not feeding them, but nourishing them and putting a beautiful meal on the table. It's not supposed to be fast, and it's not supposed to be quick, but there can be an ease to it. So get yourself out of that drive-through, and let's get home, and let's live in the kitchen and enjoy every minute of it. How's that? So Lauren, when we're all done, everybody together says, on the count of 3, do you know what we say?
I bet you I do. I'm ready.
Want to try it? Okay.
Yes.
On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Spread love like butter. There we go. Goodbye, everybody. Love you. Thank you so much for joining us. Lauren Westerfield Boberg. Love you so much. Catch her at the noblefempire.com for all those recipes and so many more, and her writing. I'm trying to sign off and I can't. There we go.
Nice.
1, 2, 3. Bye, everybody.